It's the Barbara Show, coming your way with a smile today. Down the humorous path with a lark and a laugh. It's the Barbara Show. The Barbara Show. Welcome to Humorous Adventures with Barbara.
Welcome to the Humorous Adventures with Barbara for the Barbara Show. What I'm going to do is try to go chronologically in my life. And so my topic is Growing Up Gross, Part 1, the early years, because after all, my name is Barbara Gross. So, my father was a pioneer. He purchased an 8mm camera when no one else had one. I mean, it had no sound, but basically my whole life has been documented by this camera. And a lot of the stories that I retell, I feel like it's my memory. But the only reason it's my memory, because I was so young, was because of my father's video, and I still have it. First, here I am. I was born. My mother is walking home with me from the hospital. And as my mother is walking home from the hospital with me, her newborn baby daughter, my father is literally walking backwards to film this major event. I happen to be not only the youngest of my immediate family, but I'm the youngest of the whole extended family. And I have to say, my oldest brother is 9 years older than me. My next brother is 6 years older than me. And then there's me, the youngest and the only girl. Best position in life, as far as I'm concerned. Now, another memory, which really is in my memory, is me in the yard, and I'm just standing there in this nice dress with a little hat, because my mother wanted to dress me up all the time. And I have to say, I love that dress. But when my father is filming it, I'm not quite steady on my feet yet. So, as you can see, I'm a little wobbly. Boop. Another clip of my memory is a big cat. We thought his name was Joe Bananas, but we found out the cat's name was really Josephine Bananas because she had many kittens. And there's one clip of me in the backyard with the kittens, and I'm not quite sure what to make of them. And as they're trying to get out of the box, I'm pulling a tail, I'm pulling a leg. I'm not even paying attention, but they're telling me to do something. Action for the movie. So we used to put on skits for my father as well. And one year, my father bought my two older brothers some boxing gloves. And so they were pretending to be boxing. And then I get thrown in the mix. And Danny, my closest brother, who's 6 years older than me, pretends like he's going to hit me, but he actually hits me in the eye. So, I had a black eye at a ripe old age. I don't know, I'm guessing I'm 4 or 5. Also, my father didn't really want to go to my dance recitals, but he was very proud of me. And one year I took ballet, one year I took tap, and another year I took jazz. Every year it was a very nice costume, and literally I would do my whole dance in the living room. So at family events, inevitably we would replay these home videos, and we loved it. We ate it up. But what the boys would do when we're replaying the video is they would put it in fast forward, or they'd put it in fast reverse, and they'd be teasing me, "Oh, Barbara, we always knew you had talent." Now, in our area in Boston, there was a show called the Bozo Show. Bozo was this big clown, and I tuned in every morning. this is what I did when the boys were at school and I watched the Bozo Show. Well, I had an opportunity to go to the Bozo Show, and this was very exciting. So we go, we sit down, and now the master of ceremonies, before Bozo comes on to the show, he's giving us the rules. And he tells us, I mean, we're 5 years old. We don't know. We're just sitting there. And he said, listen, when I go like this, you clap. When I go like this, you stamp your feet. And if you don't do it, you're not going to get the cookies that we promised you. Maybe you won't even air the show on TV. We were terrified. This is our experience in going on Bozo the Clown Show. You know, what went on behind closed doors was pretty scary. Maybe that's why I'm kind of afraid of clowns to this day. I don't know. Another time, there was a commercial. The commercial was, I want my maple. It was oatmeal. We never ate oatmeal in the house, but I would go shopping with my mother, and I'd say, I want my maple, because I'm listening to this commercial, and I thought, I really want this. I'm probably going to really like it. My mother said, you don't like it. I know you're not going to like it. I want my maple. So my mother indulges me. It's the day now, we're home. She makes me the maple. She puts it in front of me, and I'm excited, and I'm doing the commercial. I want my maple. And I taste it, and I was like, my mother knew I wouldn't like it. That was the end of the maple. Another commercial, yeah, I don't watch TV much. There was a commercial for Sunbeam bread. Sunbeam bread was white bread, you know, the square white bread. But the commercial, for whatever reason, was showing how fresh Sunbeam bread was by doing this. You take a slice and you pull it. And by magic, only happens with Sunbeam bread, supposedly, there's a line, like just like you cut it with a knife. So all you have to do is do this. So I'm shopping once again with my mother. I said, Ma, you need to get Sunbeam bread. She goes, we get this other brand. I said, no, we have to get Sunbeam bread. She didn't really know why I was insisting on it, but she thought, okay, let's just try Sunbeam bread. So I'm at home, I'm watching TV, and I was waiting for the commercial. And I had the bread with me because I wanted to do it with the commercial. I take a piece of bread, and I'm ready, as they're doing it on TV, and I go like this, and it's all jagged, messed up. That didn't work. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I did something wrong. I take another slice. I did it again. Not working too well. Maybe I'll take another slice. I'm going through the whole loaf of bread, basically ripping it up. My mother comes by. She's, what are you doing? I bought you Sunbeam bread. I said, yeah, I wanted it for the commercial because, you know, when you pull the bread, it's supposed to do this straight line. Now, Danny, as we got a little older, his hobby was diving. If you wanted to know what Danny was, he was underwater. And I would be coming home from the beach, and then there would be lobsters, real lobsters, in the bathtub. Little surprising, but, you know, it's my own version of Annie Hall somehow. Now, we had an aquarium, and the aquarium was in the middle of all these encyclopedias. And I had a name for each individual fish. One was pelican. I think I had about 10. And I would stare at them and talk to them. And then one day, one of the fish was missing. And I couldn't understand it. Where would it go? It wasn't like they ate each other, because if that would have happened, the missing fish would have been eaten a long time ago. I couldn't make heads or tails out of it because I didn't see a dead fish. It was just gone. And one day when I was doing my book report in one of the encyclopedias, because again, the fish tank was covered by encyclopedias, I flipped the page and there was my fish. He was a bookmark. He had jumped out, obviously, out of the little hole and then happened to just land inside the book. Now, another time, we had two little crawfish, and he was missing. And I was thinking, okay, how did this happen? I can't see him anywhere around, nowhere. And our fish tank was in the den area. And one day, my mother was vacuuming, and she saw the crayfish under the radiator. He had to have walked a distance, from there to there, while we were walking and trampling around. I mean, it's amazing how we got to the radiator. We were baffled. Don't understand it. Now, when you're in the 4th grade, I don't know about you, but I just remember memorizing things. And I found out what the definition of gross was. So we're at the dinner table, and I said to my father, "Dad, I know the definition of gross." And everybody was kind of worried because, gross took on a different connotation or different meanings by the time I was in 4th grade. But he said, "Okay, what is it?" And I said, "It means 12 dozen or 144 things." And he said, "Very good, Barbara, very good." And I just memorized it. So after dinner, there was my oldest brother Steven's best friend, Fraser. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Leave It to Beaver, this nice little family, but Steven, Eddie Haskell was Wally, the beaver's older brother, and he always was a jokester and played tricks. That was Fraser, so I think after dinner, Fraser comes over to me and he says, "Do you want to know another meaning of gross?" And I said, "Yeah." And I memorized it. I thought, my father's going to be proud when I go to the dinner table and I know another definition of gross. So the next night, I'm at dinner, I tell my father I know another definition of gross, and he says, "Okay, tell me." And I said, "If you have a dirty pair of underwear and you throw it against the wall and it sticks, it's gross." I didn't know what I said, but I saw my father turn red. And he went after Steven, and Steven's running around the house. He goes, I didn't say anything. It was his friend Fraser. Well, again, thank you for sharing my humorous adventures on The Barbara Show.
It's the Barbara Show. It's the Barbara Show. Coming your way with a smile today. Down the humorous path with a lark and a laugh. It's the Barbara Show. The Barbara Show.